I vote based off of facts, policy, and my Christian. I vote with what aligns in my beliefs, and I educate myself. I learn all the policies, I know all the facts. And to see how many people have shown their true colors this week has been a blessing and eye-opening. And to be honest, in a lot of ways, I'm also not surprised because we have seen more hate than I think we have seen as long as I've been alive, I've never seen it like this. If someone didn't want to be your friend because you didn't vote the way they wanted to, they know where the door is. Bye, girl. Ain't nobody want that energy here. We don't care. Something I will never apologize for is thinking for myself, knowing the policy and the facts, doing my research, and not voting based off of a hashtag. Meanwhile, if you knew what was happening in this country, you would be scared and embarrassed right now, is all I'm going to say.
I want to preface this video by asking that, please, first and foremost, nobody go and attack Amanda. That is not the approach to take. Yes, she is very clearly incredibly ignorant, and just by the attitude in this video, very arrogant as well, very full of herself. The whole vibe of this video, despite what she said about how I'm not here to degrade or do this or do that, just the tone of her voice and how she said certain things very much had a very holier than thou attitude that I just cannot stand, I can't fuck with. It's so annoying to me. However, if you feel like you want to go watch the latest video and you feel compelled to go and leave a comment, I feel like the best course of action right now would be to leave a comment that's going to educate or debunk the things that she is claiming. And she's been active as shit on Twitter. Just retweeting things that are very stupid, that make no sense. I'll put examples up here in a few minutes. Just absolute clownery. And honestly, I was not going to watch this video. I had decided that I did not want to put myself through watching however many minutes, 17 minutes of just dumb shit, that ignorant dumb shit that made no sense. But I knew that it wouldn't be fair for me to react to something that I had not watched. So I watched it. As you can see here, I also recorded it. And it's bad. But that does not mean that she deserves to be name called or spoken to out of her name. So please, if you feel, like I said, compelled to leave a comment, please leave one that's going to educate her or her supporters. I encourage discussions, debates, and just in-depth talking between people, because you never know. Maybe something that you say can be the changing topic that's going to change someone's mind about supporting someone as toxic and disgusting as Donald Trump. Maybe it won't, but maybe it will. The second thing I want to say is this. Please do not knock her for her faith. One of the most precious rights we have in this country, as opposed to a lot of the world, let's be honest, is the fact that we have the right in this country to practice whatever religion we want to. And we can practice multiple religions. We can practice one religion, but also be curious about other ones and want to read up on them. We have that right. And that right also belongs to her, whether you like it or not. I'm happy that she found her journey with Jesus Christ. I'm happy that she is on that journey with him. If that's what fulfills her life, I'm so happy for her. And my approach in this video is not to not condemn her, not to belittle her for her beliefs. That's not at all what I'm about. Actually, I'll change that. Let me rephrase that. I will not question her religious beliefs, because those are her beliefs and her beliefs only, and that's not mine to question. But I will question her political beliefs and her viewpoints, especially where Trump is concerned, especially when she's out here sharing dumb shit that makes no sense with baseless accusations and sharing misinformation left and right and using TikToks and Facebook posts from very deranged individuals, I would say, very confused and equally as ignorant individuals as her proof to back up what she's saying. She does say a few times in this video, please educate yourself. The only person that I see here that really needs to educate themselves a little more is her. Because the shit that she's saying, it doesn't make no goddamn sense. Like, anyway, let's just get started, okay? There's so much to cover. Let's get started. The first thing I want to address is this comment right here that was actually loved by Amanda. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I'll read the worst part of this, which is the main part of the comment that people are like, wow, okay. So it says, I will never vote for a Democrat who thinks it's okay for two men to be married and a woman can carry until her third trimester and terminate the baby. Like Amanda said, I don't know what Bible you're reading. Wow. As an ally to the LGBTQ plus community and somebody who is very much pro-choice, this comment is fucking disgusting. And the fact that Amanda happened to heart it is very telling. That's all I'm going to say. We're getting into the coronavirus topic, and this one is a very sore subject for me. I'll get to why in a second. So she retweets this stupid shit that says, if I'd have known Biden was open to lockdowns, as he now states, which is something historically unprecedented in any pandemic, and a terrifying practice, one that won't ever end because elites love it, I would never have voted for him. So she retweets it and says, the dumbest thing I've read. He told y'all and we tried to tell y'all, but y'all were too concerned with bad orange man CNN told you about. I'm trying to stay calm, but this one had me heated. Why? Because of this man right here. The man that you see on your screen right now, his name is Orlando. He was a doctor in Miami-Dade County, back home in Florida, and he served Miami-Dade County for many, many years, and his life's passion was his job. He loved to do what he did. And I know that because he's my uncle. And this year I lost him to the coronavirus. He is one of the 17,247 deaths in the state of Florida to date. And on a larger scale, one of the 240,000 deaths in the United States total. And both of those numbers, because of the carelessness and recklessness of this administration, grows exponentially every single day. Why does it grow every single day? Because the same piece of shit that Amanda chose to vote for, the one that she's sitting on this video looking all cute and sounding all wise and shit, or at least she thinks she sounds all wise and shit, when in reality, she sounds just as fucking delusional as the fat sack of shit she's protecting and voting for, because he didn't give a fuck. He played down the virus. He tried to say, oh, it's not as bad as the flu. It's nothing. It's fine. Everything's fine. Meanwhile, worldwide, thousands, if not millions of people are being infected. In the US, we think we're okay. Because he says, hey, it's okay. But no, it's not okay. It's not okay. And here we are, 8-9 months later, still in the same shithole. Still don't know what the fuck's happening. Still with no fucking guidance from the same administration that Amanda wants to sit and say, they did good for the country. There's peace in the Middle East. Girl, you are out of your goddamn mind.
To see so many people cast out family, friends, influencers they follow, I mean, all because the media told you that they were bad. Do people not realize that television tells you your vision? That programming programs you to think a certain way? And it's like that line in this new song a follower had sent me, and it's a lot of dumb people with smartphones. And look, we all make mistakes. We all do things we regret, so I'm not here to shame anyone. But as a friend and someone who cares, I'm here to make you question and think.
Tell you I was howling and cackling when I heard her say that television gives you your vision, programming programs you to believe a certain way. I lost my entire shit when I heard her say that great value version of fucking confusion. I lost it. And up until the Trump administration, I've got to be honest, I have never seen an administration and its supporters be this delusional and so far from being able to grasp reality and be proud of it. Like, I've never seen someone so proud of being so lost and misinformed all the time. Like, imagine being loud and wrong all the time. That is literally the Trump administration and its supporters, including Amanda.
Hello to everybody who comes to my page for political updates, welcome. And then for those of you who are little turds who come to either talk shit or creep, welcome. I'm just on here today to share a few did you knows. Did you know that polls actually don't matter? Like, they have been historically inconsistent. Did you know that Hunter Biden's lawyer, about 20 minutes after the story dropped, called the repair shop and asked for the hard drive back? Yeah, he called and then he emailed. I'm not really sure who gave this guy a law degree, but normally when you're gonna deny something, you probably shouldn't like send a message and say, hey, can I have that thing that I'm gonna deny? Can I have it back? Did you know that since March, the state of Florida has received 100,000 new Republican registrants? Did you know that since June, 77,000 people in Pennsylvania have also registered as, you guessed it, Republican? Did you know that in North Carolina, first-time voters, 25,000 of them, have also registered as a Republican? Did you know that the Bidens are lifelong crooks? Okay, just making sure. Oh, and last but not least, did you know that Trump was going to win anyway, but now he's probably going to win in a landslide? Okay, any questions?
Oh, and despite all of those newly registered Republican voters in all those states, not one of them made a fucking difference, did it? And he didn't win in a landslide. He actually lost in a landslide. Imagine, and this is just one of the many links that Amanda has underneath her video. There's a bunch, and all of them are equally as cringeworthy, and they're made by people who are just delusional. Well, I want to speak to the Amanda supporters, okay? I understand this may all be very disappointing. Hopefully it is to you. Maybe it's not. Maybe you're just as delusional as she is and other Trump supporters are if you support her views and beliefs as far as her political views and beliefs. But if you're looking for a sign that maybe Amanda does in fact do her research and that she, like she says, only trusts sources that are based on honesty, that are real and are based on facts and not at all fake or fabricated or regurgitated propaganda, tough shit. You're not going to find it here, because here she is sharing an article from a satire page called The Babylon Bee, taking it as fact and real, highlighting a bunch of shit that would honestly be very alarming to a lot of people if this was real, and taking it as real and sharing it and titling her tweet as sincerely yours, socialism, which basically is like, haha, Democrats, this is what you voted into the White House, because this article is about Kamala Harris. I wish I was fucking joking. I really do. I mean, from what I understand, the Babylon Bee is a satire page, just like The Onion is a satire page. And I just have to ask, is it everyday Jesus that Trump supporters they love to be misinformed and also put out misinformation, like, to the masses? Are they proud of being dumb, Jesus? I'm trying to understand so I can sympathize, but shit's hard, man.
As someone who has been canceled or whatever, people are saying because I didn't vote how everyone wanted me to vote, whatever. This peace that I have right now, this confidence in who I am and knowing that I'm a good person, I know what I believe in. I know what I stand for. I know that I'm not a racist.
You have repeatedly criticized the vice president for not specifically calling out Antifa and other left-wing extremist groups. But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
are you
I'm
prepared
willing to do
specifically
that, but
do it? Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
who would
white
you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem.
His
This
own
is a left-wing.
FBI director
This
said
is a left-wing problem.
white supremacist. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you gotta be
not
kidding.
malicious. That's what
Oh, really?
his
It's an idea.
FBI director
Gentlemen,
said.
White nationalist William Johnson was elated with President Trump's press conference.
I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it, and you don't have any doubt about it either.
He is the most honest president since George Washington and the cherry tree.
Just watching all this and hearing Trump say all that, you got visibly excited.
Yes, that is an honest man saying what he believes in his heart.
And do you believe that Donald Trump saying things like that will ultimately bring America closer to your goal of a white ethno-state?
Well, I think that America needs to take a different direction. Whether it needs to come into my direction, I don't know. We have a festering racial problem that's only going to get worse. I think the only solution is separation.
One of the funniest things that I've seen in common between all Trump supporters, if not all, most of them, is the fact that they have this like nagging need to reassure themselves, like talk to themselves and say things like Amanda just did in her video, saying things like, I know I'm a good person. I'm a God-fearing woman. I'm a God-fearing man. I'm a good person. I do this. I do that. I have black friends. I have black managers. I have black classmates. I've got black this and black that, Latino this, Latino that, whatever the case may be. And they pull out all this bullshit to make themselves feel better about themselves, despite the fact that they voted for a shit stain on the underpants of the United States and society as a whole. There's a reason why the entire fucking world seemingly was out last weekend celebrating on Saturday night after learning that Biden beat Trump's ass by a landslide, might I add. Okay? It's not because he was a good president. It's not because of any other reason. It's because he was a shit person. Can you imagine how shitty of a person you have to be for not only most of the U.S. and larger cities in the U.S., but countries worldwide, large countries in foreign countries and cities, ringing their bells in celebration that you lost your fucking job to somebody much better. Amanda, if you have to keep telling yourself, and actually not just Amanda, to any Trump supporter just like Amanda, if you have to keep telling yourselves that you're not a racist and that you are a good person, despite the fact that you all voted for a complete piece of shit who stands against everything that you claim to be against yourself, and that helps you sleep at night, you do you. But let me tell you something, okay? I can just tomorrow go right to work and be like, you know what? No one call me by Ashley anymore. My name is Mariah Carey. I am the singer Mariah Carey. Yes, I am Mimi. Nice to meet you. I want a bowl of Lucky Charms, but only the marshmallows and only the rainbows in a bowl right now, diva style. People are going to be looking at me sideways like this bitch is fucking nuts. Because obviously, just because I keep saying I'm Mariah Carey, it's not going to make me Mariah Carey. Let's be real. Trump keeps saying, for example, let's use an example that I'm sure you would love to use. Trump keeps saying that there was voter fraud. Frumpy orange bitch is on TV saying, I'm the president, I won the election, I won all these states that he obviously very much lost in. But him saying all those things doesn't make it true. Here are the facts. He's an impeached president. He can keep saying he's not impeached, but he was impeached, baby. He was impeached. He's a one-term president. That's a fact. He's a con man. That's a fact. He's a racist. That's a fact. He's a white supremacist. That's a fact. He's misogynistic. That's a fact. He's a sexist. That's a fact. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. He's a failure of a businessman. He had tons of failed business ventures. That's a fact. And you know what? The whole thing about I'm all for equality. No, you're not. You cannot say that you're all for equality when you vote for number one, a racist. Like I've said a million times, he's still a racist. And in voting for him, not once, but I'm sure you voted for him twice, both times, you are proving that his racism is not a deal breaker for you, therefore co-signing his racism, therefore it makes you a racist as well. But the fact that you're saying that you're for equality, but voting for Trump when that sack of shit faked having bone spurs to avoid joining the military, but the same fat sack of shit banned our transgender brothers and sisters from joining the military, saying that they didn't know how costly it was going to be to have them be there. You mean to tell me with your entire fucking chest that the most heavily funded program in the United States, that literally, it seems like they have a never-ending supply of money. No matter how bad they say that we are in debt, there's always an endless supply of money that goes right to the military. And I understand why. I get it. But at the same time, I question it because it's like, why do we have a never-ending supply of money for the military but not the school system? Why do we have kids who are being turned away and given a cold bologna sandwich because they can't pay their lunch bill? There are so many things that I'm so heated about that need to be fixed in this new administration. I'm going to hold these people accountable, and I hope you guys do too, that need to be fixed and addressed, but that's for a different time. Going back to what I was saying, you mean to tell me that the most heavily funded program in the United States doesn't have money to sustain our transgender brothers and sisters and help them protect us? They just want to serve their country. They're willing to make the ultimate sacrifice, the same sacrifice that this person who is banning them from serving the country, that fat sack of shit didn't want to do it, so he faked having bone spurs when he was of age to join the military. But that sack of shit wants to ban these people who are more than willing and able to go and fight for our country and for our rights. Not only the rights of my rights, your rights, my daughter's rights, but that sack of shit's rights too? No, bitch. He is not an ally to the LGBTQ plus community. He is not. At any capacity. I don't believe it. He is not someone who's an ally to the Black community. He is not an ally to the Latino community. He is not an ally to anybody that is not straight and white. That's what I've taken away from his entire 4 years in this presidency. That's what I've gathered from it. And this dates back, like I said, to the Brooklyn Five. When that was the very first big example of who he was. Actions, baby. Well, going back to actions speak louder than words. And his actions speak volumes in comparison to the words that he says. His words mean nothing, just like yours do, Amanda. It all means nothing.
I finally feel like I found myself on the right side of social media, like figuratively and literally. Like, I just feel like so many, it feels so good.
The last thing I'm going to say in this video is this. You say that you're so happy to be finally on the right side of social media, but it also speaks volumes that you are deciding to vote and be on the wrong side of history and be proud of it. And be saying things like, I don't give a fuck if you don't like who I voted for. I vote for who aligns with my beliefs and my views. Okay, bet. But hey, listen. If you vote according to who aligns with your beliefs and views and Trump is who you voted for, then I guess it's safe to say that we know who you are as a person then, if we're going off of beliefs and views and what he has for beliefs and views. So I guess that speaks volumes. And that's all I'm going to say. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night.